All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elevated TV Radio. It's the Tuesday edition, and you know how we do it. Emmanuel Sebastian is in the building. But I don't just have Emmanuel Sebastian alone. I have two Liverpool people, two very loud, aggressive, vibrant Liverpool people in the studio. It means that I am under threat. I'm an endangered species today. But because women, represent blessings and growth and progress and recreation and procreation and love, I'm sure I'm safe. Okay, because today is the International Women's Day, International Day set aside for women to celebrate women, and we all have at least one or two women in our lives to celebrate. So we're going to kick it off with celebrating the women in our lives. And I'm going to start with my wife, Mrs. Favor Nkechi Daffy, solid woman, believer of dream, believer of purpose and vision. But I've got more than one. I've got a lot of women to celebrate. I've got my daughter, Rookie Daffy, who lost her tooth in a very painful way yesterday. She's in school right now, but I love her to heaven and back. And I've got hordes of women, but then there is one very, very special sister of mine, one person that I can always run to anytime, any day. And I mean, I don't know, but she's really a believer of dreams as well. I'm talking about the wonderful Linda AK. We call her Hero AK. And every other woman who's worked with us here in the past, Alison, Irene, Dumebi, what's her name now, Ibukun, and the great ones that are holding it down here, Precious Omoruyi, Adasa Ajayi, Tacha, poetic and wonderful writer, as well as Osarime, and every other woman in her life. And I'm sure that Emmanuel Sebastian have a lot of women in his life to pay tribute to: his mom, his sister, friends, people that have helped him on this journey. And one name that keep coming to my mind is Debola Adebanjo. At a very crucial time, I knew that she opened a small door. It's a very small door, but those are the doors that ends up counting the most. So I'll leave Emmanuel Sebastian. Emmanuel Sebastian, good morning and welcome to the show.
All right, good morning to you and to everyone who's tuned in today. It's a privilege to be on the show, another beautiful Tuesday morning. But kind of a special because, like you said in the right in the introduction of the show, it's the International Women's Day, and women are beautiful. It's a privilege to when you have a woman to celebrate in your life, and there are quite a number of them. I would love to celebrate on this special day. First off, is my mom. Yeah, she's been helpful. Ever since I got into started doing this, she's been supportive and helping me along the way. Giving me that push, giving me that support, and I'm grateful for where I've been so far. All thanks to her and how she supported me and how she let me do this. And it's not just my mom as well, like you said. Quite. Should I say there's a woman as well who has also supported me in this journey. I mean, Debola has been fantastic ever since she's in the UK now for a FIFA Masters program. So we always keep in touch. But I mean, she was one lady who opened the door for me. I first of all met her at a video editing class. She was my facilitator then. So from there, we built up that relationship. And I mean, she's nice to be with. She's always open. She's willing to help. If she sees you in this line of things and you're serious, she's willing to help, and she's opened the door for me. She also gave me room to come to the BBC to learn one or two things with her and what she does. Took me around the whole environment, introduced me to some couple of people. So she's been very, very supportive of me in this journey, and to show other women out there. I mean, I grew up amongst women. I'm the only boy in my family. 4 girls are under me, so I have a lot of people to celebrate. So it's a wonderful thing, celebrating International Women's Day, and hopefully we get to celebrate more of this.
And I'm going to turn the camera now to this guy who's always with us on his Facebook or YouTube Live or Instagram. It's Patrick. That's what you guys know him as. But Patrick is in the studio today to pick up this beautiful Brazilian jersey. I don't want to give to him anyway. If I have a way not to give to him, I would keep my jersey back, especially when it has number 7 on it. But okay, there's room for sharing. Patrick, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Please open your mouth and talk. Talk the way you type. Don't come here and be
I
funny.
actually type this way too. I don't talk loud. But good morning, Elevated TV family. It's good to be here. I've been a long time fan. I'm actually the most amazing Liverpool fan in Lagos.
I hear you.
No,
I hear you.
That's arguable.
I hear you.
I'll give you your keyboard. That's the fact. And
I hear you,
it's
Oga.
amazing to be here.
Amazing Grace.
I'm glad to be here to be with you guys, and happy International Women's Day to all the women in the world. I just want to say happy International Women's Day to my mom, especially because she's been my rock and all, and to all the ladies in Elite Choral as well. I want to say International Women's Day to you. It's good to be here.
All right, so let's set the show running. Emmanuel, it's going to be all you today. We don't have our producer today, so too bad. I actually promised to get. I wanted to surprise you with. I keep wanting to surprise you, and it doesn't work. So I'm done trying to surprise you. I want to surprise you with Guavon. We actually spoke for long, but there was the class that they were supposed to have yesterday. Then I shifted it to 9 to 11. So he's in class as we speak. But what I would do. I don't know, I'm not gonna say this, but I know that before the week runs out, I'm good because everybody's been asking me why you not interviewing the governor. Somebody's even saying, when Genotro was here, you were using your platform to promote it. Now he's Nigerian coach, you don't want to promote it. Now let me explain that bit before we go further. The governor does not know how to pick phone. They have a problem. Guavon, Okocha, those class of 94 people, Victor Kweba, Mokashi. Those guys don't know how to take their call. And if you understand this job that we do, this job is about time, right? Time waits for no man. This job is about time. If you're not available, Genotro, one of the things you will give Genotro credit for, Genotro understands the media. He understands the role of the media in his job. Unfortunately, the class of 94, all of them are more entitled than you think. And they don't understand what the role of the media is in their job. And they always want you to bend to their rules. So it's very, very hard. You would think that after making the film room video and all of the investment we put into producing what we're producing already with the Super Eagles, you would think that I'll be talking to Guavon every day. Between going to the Nations Cup and now, the last time I spoke to Guavon was at the Nations Cup, like, oh, hi, coach, what's up? I've not spoken to him on the phone until today. That's how hard it is. Okay, so we did the London thing together, but I'm speaking on the phone. We did the London thing. That was just us being proactive. That's just me being proactive over the top, but it was difficult. So Guavon is not one person that is easily accessible, and I'm not in Abuja where, okay, we can just have a sit down together. So that's one of the reasons why it's been tough. But what I can say is that by next week, I would do a Zoom interview. It might not be live on the show, but I'll definitely do a Zoom interview where we'll bring up a Guavon, then we'll have a sit down. We'll just talk across. People still want the list to be explained, not by me or by you or by anybody. People want it to be explained by the coach because in Genadro's days, he explains to you why he's picking this player, why he's playing that player. And I think that the coach owes Nigerians that to explain that. So we're going to get that done within the week. I'm going to find a way. I'm also very, very busy. Because sometimes when I try to reach you and you give me this, I'm very busy, I'm very, very busy, I just get out of the way from you like, okay, you're not ready. It's easy to deal with foreign coaches in this regard because once they can trust you, once they, okay, this is a reliable source, I can trust this person, this journalist, especially when you're not coming at them with, coach, I need you to help me pick this player. Or coach, give me jersey or give me dollar. Once you don't put yourself in that line, it's easy for the foreign coach to know, this is a journalist, because where they're coming from, that's the system. You talk to the media. But over here, it's not like that. And that's a very, very difficult thing to have. But then we would still do the best that we know how to do while celebrating women all together today. But I just thought I should explain that to the guys out there because I've been bombarded with messages. My DM is filled up with, you are not helping the coach. And I went out of my way to do film room with a Guavon. I'm shooting a movie, $1 million movie on the Super. You guys don't even know how we pushed to get the money for that movie. And you think we don't want to help the Guavon? Like, I'm against the Guavon. Is that what you really think? But you see, the thing is, You're not going to interview somebody who doesn't want to be interviewed. That's just the basic fact about it. But hey, it's our job. I know people want the interview, so people will come at us as best as they can. But hey, let's keep our fingers crossed and see. I wish I can pull through quite a few interviews. Ahmed Musa, Joy Gallo. Me and Ahmed Musa were best of friends now. That's strange. Very, very strange anyway. We're best of friends. Like he checks up, hey, okay, we have fun. Like really? For real? But it's good. Sometimes we fight before we become friends. And on YouTube, Princess, where have you been, girlfriend? My radio boo. Chukwude maybe happy International Women's Day. You men are the real MVPs. Thank you very much. We love you too. Maybe we know you're going through hell and high waters, but you're solid. You come through and be grateful for it. Every time you say I have arrived. Okay, you know his idea to do. Yes, welcome. All right, Emmanuel Sebastian, is your game now. Let's do this show today.
All right. Just because it's women, let me just chip in this before we go into the show probably. Rashida Ajibade, she scored her 10th goal of the season for Atletico Madrid Femenino this past weekend. And they put out a tweet that whenever they score at home, don't shout goal, shout Ajibade.
Really?
Yeah, so I really love that. I love the tweet, with a picture of her in that tweet as well. So, I mean, she's doing so well for Atletico Madrid right there in Spain's top division. They're talking about the women's division there.
She's a good girl.
I love her. I love her brand. I love how
Love
she
everything
presents
about
out
that
there.
girl.
So it's good to see her doing well and all that. So all the best to Rashida Ajibade as the season progresses. Now, I mean, the talking point from the last few days has been the release of the Super Eagles squad list. I mean, there won't be a perfect list. Whatever list you release, there must be critics. People will criticize. Sure. People have their own say and all that. But I think this came as a shock to everybody. Now we'll talk the list from session by session goalkeepers. I don't think there's a lot to say about the goalkeeping department. Maduka Okoye, Daniel Akpeyi, and Francis Uzoho. So I think those three, anytime, any day, are the top three goalkeepers that we're going to call for the Super Eagles team. Now let's move to the defense. Now Awazin drops. There's a return for Leon Balogun, and he was always going to return if he's fit. Calvin Bassey as well makes the team, and the regulars who are there, Ola Aino, Shehu Abdullahi also is in that list as well. And I'll choose Ekong. Now, the return of Calvin Bassey, I mean, Shuin is doing so well for Rangers week in, week out, and he's not playing as a left back, he's playing as a left centre back for Rangers. Now, a lot of people expected this. I mean, it would have been a shock if Calvin Bassey wasn't in this squad. He was called the last time but he wasn't capped. So hopefully he gets capped in this Ghana game. But what do you make of the whole defensive situation? I wasn't dropping to the standby. And Ekong, who's not been playing for Watford recently, there were reports that he was injured. What's the name of the Watford manager? Roy Hodgson came out to say he was injured there. But Ekong came out to debunk the story that it was fake news. He posted on his Instagram that it was fake news. Now, he's not been playing for Watford. He's not been playing ever since Austin came in, but he's in the team. What do you make of that defense? Do you think it's going to hamper our chances? Because some of our players are not getting the playing time ever since they have, like I mentioned, a couple of them. They've become, bench warmers in their team. But what do you make of that defensive?
Before I say it, let me hear from our guy. Being inside the studio is different from when you're out there. You see, it's so subdued, man. If it was out there, I would have typed like 10 things. Bros, let's hear from you.
What's the thing?
If you're not playing for your team in Europe or wherever you are, please don't play for the national team. That's my own perspective of whichever play you are. But when it comes to this thing, sometimes experience counts. We're going for a derby game. We need those players that have been there in tournaments that we've played, and I think Ekong is an experienced player, but I don't really know why he's not playing for Watford. Probably because of him coming out to debunk his manager's story about him.
Even before then, he hasn't
been playing, and not just Ekong. There are a lot of players, just like you said, that have been playing for that team. But for me, I think he's just in there for the experience, and he's actually a captain aside Ahmed Musa. So you dropping your captain for a game that's World Cup qualifier is going to cause a lot of issues. So I think it's not too bad as in the squad. He's a good player, but my own perspective is just if you're not really playing for your team, it's been how many games? 6, 7 games you've not been playing. So, but I believe the coach has the final say. That's my own.
Well, you've said that. So, Mara, let me come back to answering your question. I think that when you pick a squad like this, one of the things we always do is we already go to the starting 11. We forget that they will come to training, they will fight for space, and they will make up the team. A coach picks his team based on first chemistry. So, are this team well blended together? Do they have a perfect understanding of each other? Am I going to start afresh and start explaining my philosophy and ideology to the players? So when you look at it, you have Leon Balogun and Kevin Bassi, as well as Shehu Abdullahi, who've not played under Austin Iguavon. The 10 days to the Nations Cup before we went to the Nations Cup and play up to Tunisia and get out, these guys were not in the team, meaning that they are new to Austin Iguavon. They might not be new to football, they are new to Austin Iguavon. If you drop Trust Ekong, you practically only have Kenneth Omeru as a starter and Zaidu Sanusi as a starter in that team. Yeah. So when they are talking about the team philosophy, the coach would have serious setbacks. But bringing in William Trustekong, who had a great Nations Cup and leading to the Nations Cup, it was conceding goal, it was horrible for Watford, and everybody was able to say, don't bring it. You won't blame Trustekong from the Nations Cup performance. His performance at the Nations Cup was good. So we've had this type of situation all through the history of the Super Eagles. So it's not new. We have a non-playing Joseph Yobo, who was the captain of the 2013 team. We have not played Steve Keshi. We have an Iguavon. You're aware of that story very well. So if there's anybody who understands this, Iguavon, who was clubless for 1 full year, went on to captain the team to the Nations Cup, went to the World Cup as well. So you can't. In football, what really counts the most is fitness. He's not playing for his club. Is he fit? Is he staying fit? Yes. If he's staying fit, yes, then he should. There are people who are playing regularly who you will give a chance and might not be able to be there. The good thing is before the camp will open, I guarantee you guys this, before the camp will open, I would sit with Coach Ego. I would be on a Zoom call. I'm not going to Abuja. And I'll get him to explain the rationale behind every player that they pick, the ones on standby, why is Ogen Anazi coming back to the team, all of this. I will be reading snippets here. If I won't say this, if I won't say that. But I'll get him to say it in his own words. His face will be there on it. And then we will judge going forward how it is. I mean, it might happen this week. It might happen next week. But definitely that's going to happen. But for me, I think the selection is fine. William Trustekong, Kenneth Omeru, two players who paired at the back of the Eagles and did very well. I don't think he's going to break that anyway. Leon Balogun might be consigned to the bench. Olaino and Zaidu Sanusi, it will take a miracle. It will take injury for anybody to drop them. These guys are good. Olaino would obviously learn and improve.
I wonder why he's not been playing for Torino. He's been on the bench the past 4 games for Torino.
So I think some of these players that went to the Nations Cup are being punished. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not just Nigerian players. It's not just Nigerian players. It's only those clubs who cannot afford to bench the Sadio Manes of this world or the Mo Salahs. Most African players that went to the AFCON are being punished. And it's not just Nigerian players. So if you look statistically, majority of the players that went to the AFCON are all of a sudden bench warmers at their club, not having time to play. So I'm not going to use that to say they're not good enough. But my joy with this team is that we have a starting back line that is as good as even the guys that will be on the bench. If it's Kevin Bassi going to play, it depends on the result. We're playing Ghana here. I'm not sure that this is a game where you want to go and give a debut to Kevin Bassi, and then if he makes a mistake, then his career is over for the national team. He would sit on the bench. If there is the need to bring him in, they will bring him in. But if there's no need to bring him in, I don't have a problem. But I like the fact that we have 2 center back that can sit on the bench. Shemi Ajayi and Leon Balogun, they are as good as those guys who are going to start. Okay, this is me playing the devil's advocate now that the coach would retain the team that started for him at the AFCON. And then you have Zaidu Sanusi, who for me is going to hold on to that left back. No, I don't think there's any substitute to him. And then Olaino, the most skillful player in this team. The most skillful player in this team in terms of playing with the ball. Okay? And when you say that, people will not understand what you're saying because I see him in training. People don't see him in training. So they don't understand what I'm saying. But I see this boy, his techniques, his brilliance on the ball is amazing. So, I mean, I would also have the privilege of getting very up close and personal with somebody like Kevin Bassi and the rest of the players. Good at it. I'm even going to go to camp before the camp opens itself. So go together to Ghana, come back, and then see how it goes. Prayer is I will win. There's one player that I think shouldn't have been invited to this team because we already have Jamilu Collins, who did well, and I was him, who were not bad at the AFCON, is Shehu Abdullahi. I don't know if it is federal character. I don't know if it is about natural position. But I think that there's been too much noise about him. Not like he's not a good player, but I think there's been too much noise about him. Coach could have avoided bringing him back. After all, you have Jamilu Collins and Chidozie Awazim. Just make your team and go. But I mean, if push comes to shove, that's the only player that I could put the spotlight on and say maybe this player shouldn't have been invited.
All right, Jamilu Collins dropped to the standby list. I think Calvin Bassey took his place, and for Shemi Ajayi, he played his 100th game for West Brom this past weekend. So fantastic feat for the tall defender, and hopefully, I don't know, he gets to fight for his place for the starting positions in the Super Eagles. Looking at the defenders we have now, let's move to the midfielders. We have 5 midfielders according to the list. What the list says: Wilfred Ndidi, Joe Aribo, those regulars. You can take their place from that team. Frank Onyeka as well is amongst the midfielder, but there are 2 new additions: the return of Ogenekaro Etebo and Akinkunmi Amao, who's been placed as a midfielder on this list. Those are the 2 talking points from the midfield positions. I mean, Etebo hasn't been playing for Watford, but he's been getting run-outs for the under-23s. He's yet to play for the first team because of the injury layoff. He was on the bench in their last Premier League game, but didn't get to come on. Akinkunmi Amao, I don't know, before today, personally, I don't see him playing this Ghana game. Maybe just to bond with the team.
You never know.
Get the experience. I'll be surprised if I see him play.
You never
a couple
know.
of minutes in this game. For me, I would have left him till after this qualifiers. I believe there will be room for some friendly games. Then you bring in these players, test these players. I just feel Amo is taking someone's place when he's not ready. Because this is a crucial game. And he's trying to settle in for his new club. Remember, he just got his debut this week as well off the bench towards the dying stages of the game for Copenhagen. So I feel it should give him more time to settle into his new club and before you just call him up for this game. But I don't know, I'm not the manager, but I'm talking about what I feel now. So he should have been left out for this squad. But Etebo returns, Amao makes it. What do you make of these 2 additions?
I come back. I defer to you just 1 minute.
First of all, let me just say, just like Adrian always says, your son is in the Super Eagles.
It's not my son. Get out. It's not my son.
But,
Get out.
But
It's not my son. Every time you have created the problem for me now.
I've always wanted Amao to be in the team. I was rooting out for him to play the first 2 games in the league for Copenhagen, but he couldn't play. He came on 15 minutes to the end of the last game they played. He was pretty sharp. Probably Eguavon saw something in that game. I don't know, but
he's always saying something sharp. We wanted him at the AFCON.
He's this bright player that could always create spaces and all. He's an exciting player. For me, I think against 2 legs, you can't say he might just play one of the legs. He's a very talented player, and I always saw Etebo always coming back into the Super Eagles. He's also a good player. So that's what I think.
All right, let me give my take. But before I give my take, let me celebrate my sister, Sissy Amstead Douglas. Thank you very much for always watching all the way from California. It's not easy. Thank you very much. I love you, and I love every one of you out there. But let me go to YouTube and read a lot of the messages that are there. Uche Chuku Iriogu, he say, don't shout go, shout Ajibade. Every time he say, where is Iman Sebastian from? Is he a Yoruba man? No, Iman Sebastian is an Igbo boy. Okay,
from Imo State, Idiato South.
Okay, you can hear him now. He's from Idiato South. Okay, it's Imo State. All those Mbise people, them, all these Olu people, them. It's from Imo State. Rocha Sokorocha, them. Very easy people. Beauty statues, worshiping idols. The idol worshippers. All right, Sydney Ibokwe, he said, why is Eboyi not included?
He's injured. Yeah.
He's injured. Okay, he's very reliable right back. Backup is injured. Johnny Gaffer, thank you very much for being a friend and a supporter. He's a big fan of Eboyi, but he didn't impress me in the AFCON. If I'm honest, he didn't show his attacking game. Well,
he played just one game.
Just one game is not enough to put all those expectations on him, and especially you have to play according to the instruction the coach gives you. So you don't know what the coach says you should do. Uchechu Irobu is a rumor has it Victor Moses is set to return, and Nazi has not been playing in the 2nd division, Saudi Arabia. Okay, you talk so. Sidney Bokwe said exactly why Shehu ahead of Eboyi. Eboyi is injured, so I think that one is already settled. The boy is injured. That's why Sheo came in anyway. Daddy Bayano JP say happy International Women's Day too to all the beautiful women are all around the world. And Nigeria all the way. Have a nice day. My greetings. Thank you very much. Greetings to you too. Ivory 10. He said, look at the big smile on Edafe's face when Sabah mentioned his son. Hey, Jesus Christ. And this guy is supposed to be like my brother, but now you go kill me for this show. Now you go wreck me for this show. Okay, everything is nice. Sitting thanks to the update, guys. Okay, so let's deal with the midfield as you mentioned it. I won't lie, I'm happy that he invited Amao. The funny thing with this Amao guy is he doesn't even know me. Amao will walk past me like he doesn't even know me. And you know, that's the best thing that I like about this Amao boy. So I don't like people owing me. I know what the burden of owing people is. I don't like people owing me. I don't like people feeling like, oh, now this bros, I do my highlight to make the invite to go under 17. That I'm not. No, he's a football player. Just the same way I talk about Messi. Messi would never meet me or know me. Okay, maybe we'll meet Sundays. Yeah, we'll meet. The rate at which we're going, I could just go and approach him and say I want to do a movie on him. So we might meet, but he doesn't know me. Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, Arsene Wenger, Arteta. So a Nigerian player does not need to know me. Doesn't need to. Oh, bro, I'm just doing my job and he's doing his job. If he does his job very well, fine. But let me talk about the midfield a bit. Wilfred Ndidi, unless he gets injured, he's going to start. Joe Aribo most likely is going to start, but he's got a whole lot on his mind. We were talking yesterday for a very long time. He's got a whole lot going on in his head right now, but he's still going to start. Frank Onyeka not be playing since he came to the AFCON, in and out of the team. He was a mainstay in the team, and then he went to AFCON, and then, no longer playing. I'm going to carry a table for me. And I had a very long, interesting, beautiful conversation with him yesterday. I told him this yesterday. I wouldn't have invited him.
Should he have been given more time to regain his fitness?
Yes, regain your fitness, play one game first. But I understand that when you look at our midfield at the AFCON, we have everything, but we didn't have a fight in that midfield. We didn't have a fight. We didn't have somebody who, when the game was choking us in the neck, we just lie flat. We just decide to take it. Like, okay, you want to rape us, rape. Like, we didn't have somebody who said, you know what, I'm going to fold my knee and kick you in the groin. I'm going to put a fight. Like, we didn't have somebody who put a fight. And that was sad. Probably that's what Ogunekari represents. It might have the engine, but does it have the fuel inside the engine? Does it have the combustive grind right now coming from the injury that's coming from? We saw what happened to Chukwueze. Coming back from that long layoff injury-wise, he's not the same again. I've watched him play for Villarreal. I've watched him play at the AFCON. That's not the Chukwueze we used to know. And even the Chukwueze we used to know, I used to have a problem with him. Like, okay, his crosses, his deliveries were still not good. His shots are wayward. So I'm going to struggle with Ogunekari Timo on the list a bit. And I know that my worry people will like, your brother, I gave you the block road for him. This is not about brother. This is about the Super Eagles going for the World Cup. Ogunekari Timo obviously is needed in the team, but I thought that they should have waited a bit. But when I spoke to him, he said he's fit, he's ready to go. He's playing under 23 games that are way harder than the Premier League games. And it's coming through well. If you, another school of thought will tell you that any player that is good enough to be on the bench is good enough to start. Because if players get injured in this position, push comes to shove, you're going to train him again. So if he's good enough already to sit on the bench for a Premier League game, then he's good enough to start. So let's see how that goes. Akikumi Amao, now that's the one that was very cagey, and that's the reason why I called him this morning. I called him and I said, Coach, I don't want to hear, as much as I'm, let's support Nigerian coaches, let's give them all the best. I'm going to treat you the same way I would treat any other coach. Coach, how did you manage to pick Amao? And he said, so this was what he said to me. He said, my brother, you know football. I've had a conversation with you, you know football. You know that we're lacking creativity in that midfield. So it was between Chude Raijuki and him picking Amao. Now he's watched Amao's clip on YouTube. He's tried his best to see, and then he's also spoken to some other coaches in Sweden and to give a technical appraisal of the boy. And it's all the things he got were good. Checked all the boxes. Would he play against Ghana? That's the thing he didn't tell me. I asked him, I said, would you boldly start him against Ghana? He said, come on. These boys have to come to training to prove themselves. If selection just being on the list means you will play, then there's no need to come to camp. On my side, they should just arrive in the morning and then